May I now invite Ms. Shima and Mr. Reza to present their experiences in Imamzadeh Yahya locality.
Hello, everyone. I must thank for this opportunity to present our experience in Imamzadeh Yahya. Me and Shima, we are really proud of this chance. Um, if you want to say something.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. We are so happy to be on this conference.
To save the time, I will be presenting the paper and our research work and our project. I hope everyone is having our screen, if that is visible, so I can start.
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So our project was named and titled as Laying Groundwork for Community-Led Activities Aiming at Local Involvement in Imamzadeh Yahya locality. The location of our site was somewhere in the old Tehran, which was like one of the three localities in Utlajan, which was the old part of Tehran. It was a residential in the ancient Tehran, and also it's next to the Grand Bazaar. And it's one of the neighborhoods which people still live in this neighborhood. So this makes a big difference of these neighborhood comparing to the others. As you can see, this area is actually what we call it Udlajan in Tehran, and the number 3 is actually the Grand Bazaar. But the neighborhood we are talking about is actually shown by the red line that you can see. This is the Imamzadeh Yahya of the Tehran. This is how it looks. It has many old houses. It has an old market with lots of historical and memorial places at the same time. So the studies shows that the population of the neighborhood was actually decreasing in different years, and this was the main issue in the last decades in this neighborhood, because many people actually left their houses, and after that one of the main reasons actually of this changes in the neighborhood was actually when the government tried to save this neighborhood, because the normal developing model in Tehran is like the municipality give permission to the old houses to demolish and make apartments. But after a while, they understood that this neighborhood is actually a historic district, and then they tried to save it. So they put some regulations, but these regulations affect the land prices in the neighborhood. And after that, there were many the socio-economic issues, and at the same time, so people had no reasons to stay, and many of them actually left their homes. And but after a while, when they understood that, okay, this can be a potential because it has so many historic houses, they tried to use the tourism as the medicine for this challenge, and then they tried to define top-to-down projects to develop the neighborhood. In fact, we were also one of those top-to-down projects which was defined by the government to create investing packages on the old houses for investors to come and make them as hostels and all these things. But after our studies, we understood that how this is actually going to gentrify the neighborhood. And our main question was like, what will happen to the local people who are one of the few people who are still living in this kind of neighborhood. So we tried to convince the municipality who we were working with to change our path and to understand another approach to the project. So the new project was trying to build capacity for community-led projects, and then that's why we tried to propose this project called, excuse me, laying groundwork for community-led activities, aiming at the local involvement in Imamzadeh Yahya locality, and to understand what are the people's ideas and how these actions can be taken. And for this reason, we took the participatory approach to understand how we can go further. We went, as Robert Chambers says, we avoid manuals and we went with our judgments. So we tried to, the first step we took, to understand the neighborhood and what are the issues and problems in the neighborhood. We started with social map, and then we went to streets and we were talking to different groups and people. And they kind of addressed different places. The first one, this is the first step and the first day actually we started our social map, and then this is how it looked like, but it was not readable for many people. So with the help of other people, we tried to kind of make a more readable actually social map. And then so they were helping us to locate and point the different places, hubs, streets, paths which they had memories with. So we went, as I said, we went to different groups of people. We went to parks, to small communities to understand that. After a while, we came up with this kind of picture of our social map. And for the triangulation of our process, again, we went to another groups of people and to understand how things are actually located and all. So we had another process of the social map, and then we went to different groups again. And as you can see, there were more sticks and threads, which threads actually represent the interesting paths which was identified by the locals. And so we had different, points of the locality. And then this is how it looked like at the end. So as you can see, we had to extend some papers to complete our social map. What was very interesting was like when we were talking to people and when we were asking them to show us their neighborhood and then we could understand the neighborhood. So there were some issues and some locations that they were like addressing at the same time. One of the issues and one of the things were like the new places that they were coming up to the neighborhood, which was like a hostel or a restaurant. And we tried to do an effect analysis to understand what are these issues actually about these new places in the neighborhood. And then but after a while, and then we started doing effect analysis on a new opened restaurant and hostel in the neighborhood. But we understood that this is not people's main issue. They are not talking about this all the time, and they have a bigger question on it. So we took it to different places to ensure that this feeling is actually it can work and it can guide us to another level of the project. And then our bigger question was like, how does being considered as a historic district affects the daily life of people in this neighborhood? As you can see, so that the pink papers, they are the negative sides of the effects, and the yellow ones are the good effects, which can being considered can affect the people's life in the neighborhood. And the yellow ones were actually more like a potential, not something which is happening right now. So then we started to talk to people and to understand what are the main issues, and these are some of the references that people said about what are the benefits of this being historical district effects on their people's life. And then we sat with the groups, because at this time then we knew people, we knew different groups and people. So then we tried to sit with people and understand what are the main suggestions of them for this neighborhood and that they're living in. In this stage, we did the brainstorming and we did the card sorting process, and then we came up with some of the main ideas / issues they had, because they were again addressing the issues, but we were trying to facilitate the process to understand what can happen in the neighborhood. So after that, there were two main suggestions and solutions for the neighborhood which came by the locals. The first one was the changing the regulation related to restrictions for historic neighborhoods, and the second one revitalizing the old daily market of the locality, which was a Thursday market. So the first one was something which was actually big, because we then after that, when so we had to we talked to different people, and they had these two they also addressed these two main suggestions for the neighborhood. So then the first one was a bit difficult. They realized it takes more time because it needs to go to the parliament, and then there is a long procedure for this. But in meanwhile, we understood through them that there was a old daily market happening in the neighborhood, which was a very important heritage of this locality, and it was a very active, happy, happening, which was happening every week, and at the same time, it was helping people's economy actually in that sense. And then we had this question of okay, how this market actually can help the people, and what are the reasons that this is important for the people. So these were the reasons that they realized that this market was important to them, that the Thursday market was their local heritage. It helped their existing businesses. It was a dynamic of their neighborhood. It was bringing a level of security to their neighborhood. And it was a source of income, because as we understood that there were also sellers and buyers, and also that even the shopkeepers. So they were street sellers selling their goods, and at the same time, the shopkeepers were also could make more money when there was a good crowd there. The idea which people were actually supporting this idea, but at the same time, because this was a kind of intangible heritage of this location, but at the same, municipality is always looking at the tangible historical houses which can be converted to touristic place. So we had to convince again the municipality that this is not the way we look at the heritage. It can be intangible heritage, and actually the local markets are also very can be a point of attraction. Though our main reason to not we, but the people's main reason to choose this was to help their own local economy. But at the same time, in future, it can be a point of attraction for tourism as well. So we had to take some pictures and case studies to the municipality to convince them. So these are some case studies from internationally, and also in Gilan in Iran, which is happening actually. These daily markets are not something very new. So this is something is happening everywhere. So we try to convince the municipality about this, and then again we went back to they were not that happy, but we were happy that at least we can continue our project. So we went back to people and we tried to understand how was this old market, because there must be a reason that it was stopped. So the surprising thing was actually here, because some of the shops, they were having conflict with some of these sellers, mainly the fruit sellers. And in one day, so the police and the municipality people, they come and there is a conflict, and one of these sellers was actually killed. So after that, the market went so low, and then it was disappeared. I have to say the market was active at least for 30 years. This is what was addressed by the people. So we went to different groups and we tried to do a timeline tool to understand what are the different and important steps of this market, and what were the advantages and disadvantages of this market for today's time, and what were the people's memories about this market. So as you can see, at this time, the pandemic was announced, and then we couldn't take the people in big groups, but we were going in smaller groups, or we were going one by one, but we were trying to keep the process on. So we tried to talk to all people and the residents of the neighborhood to understand what were the process, and they were like telling us the different stories. And then even we tried to talk to people who had challenges with this idea, because the fruit shop, they still had some problems, but we had to listen to them. And then when we were discussing, so then they were understanding, okay, what they want to do next, you know. So this was a bit different for them. This is the last picture of our tool, the timeline tool that we had about the old market. And then after this, with one of the groups we got to know in the neighborhood, we found a voluntary. I mean, there were a group of volunteers that they were happy to help the rest of the process. So we sat together and we were like facilitating the process, that how a smaller scale experimental old market can be actually programmed and planned. So we sat together and they were like programming the process, and so they were doing the process mapping tool together to understand what are the procedures and what are the different steps that we have to take to make this smaller scale experimental market happen. And then so this is how it looked like. And then they were like talking about what are the steps, inputs, and outcomes of the process and the happening. And so after that, we came up with a poster, and we came up with a flyer which had the aim to announce that this is about to happen in the neighborhood, and to get the attraction of the people who want to also participate, who want to sell something or be the part of this plan, which was organized by the volunteering group. After that, unfortunately, as you can see, this is our last slide. After this, the fourth wave of COVID in Iran was a really big issue. And at the same time, we had unanswered letters from, to the municipality. They didn't answer our letters anymore. And also our agreement and contract date was over. So we are still waiting for the more stable situation, mainly about the COVID condition in Iran. And we are hopeful to continue this project, which was happening in this process. Thank you so much. I must thank you everyone for listening to us.